You know, kill two birds with one stone.
I'm Scottish. That's worse.
What's happening, guys, and welcome back to another great video on our channel. Picture a scene that you're competing in. You've worked hard to be at the top of your game, you're doing great, the emotions start to get the better of you. You begin to celebrate, and then it all goes wrong. Even in professional sport, it happens. It's human nature, after all, to anticipate, but it can also be so embarrassing. So without further ado, let's talk about people who celebrated way too early. Number 4, fan falls during a race against the freeze. Not the biggest mistake, but perhaps more of an entertaining one. Racing the Freeze is an interactive between-innings event for fans at Atlanta Braves baseball, which sees selected fans run against Nigel Talton, a member of the Braves ground crew who also happens to be a former college sprinter. Talton doesn't lose a lot. Whichever fan faces, the man dressed as a character from The Incredibles gets an excellent big head start and a chance to win a prize worth $100. Not a huge bonus, but with a 30-second sprint, the promotions become popular enough that it's a regular talking point. A particular fan took off around the outfield at a decent pace, and while it looked like the Freeze was going to pip him at the post. Anyway, there's something just a little bit life-affirming about this attempt to pump up the crowd only to fumble just before the line.
Look at the guy. He thought he was going to win. Exactly.
Number 3, Olympics wrestler backs off too early. During the dying seconds of the 65-kilogram wrestling category bronze bout at the Rio Olympics in 2016, Gaza region Mandaknarin appeared to have secured a victory over Uzbekistan's Iktay Nazrusov, leading 7-6 with time running out. With just 5 seconds left on the clock, Mandaknarin pumped his arms in celebration, moving away from his opponent. Unfortunately for him, refusing to engage your opponent in wrestling can be punishable with a penalty point. That point was duly awarded, leveling the scores with a penalty point, also costing him the contest. As a tie under Olympic rules, the win is awarded to the last person to score. To add to the drama, the two Mongolian coaches, after arguing with the judges, proceeded to tear off some of their clothes and throw them to the floor, for which a further penalty point was awarded to Navrazov. Mandaknarin has 2 World Championship medals, but is yet to have the chance to return to the Olympics.
Uzbekistan, Iktay Navrazov. And that may be because...
Number 2, Franz Tiafoe thought he had won too early. It would be fairly unusual to celebrate a point too early in tennis, given the amount of time he was typically involved in watching a winner and it usually being obvious if your opponent has a reasonable chance of returning it. But that didn't stop Franz Tiafoe from celebrating and heading for his towel in a match he was fairly comfortably losing to Daniil Medvedev in the City Open in Washington, D.C. In 2020, with Tiafoe having played what looked like a likely winner, he charged off to the side of the court in celebration. With a pacey Medvedev tracked down his shot and delicately sliced a gentle return into the empty court. Tiafoe could have used the points too, but he lost the remaining 2 games and the match in straight sets. Number 1, the worst 3 dishes surprise in MasterChef. It's not just sports that can bring out the premature moments of joy. In MasterChef, there are many occasions where the judges, including the notoriously spiky Gordon Ramsay, taste only the dishes they're most impressed with, something of a convention on the series. On one particular occasion early in the competition, Ramsay and the rest of the judging team called up 3 delighted contestants and their food to the front of the kitchen and told them that their food had stood out. But typical of Ramsay, he quickly twisted the situation into something a little bit more niggly, though announcing that the dishes stood out because they had prepared, in his view, the 3 worst dishes. That was one of the most shocking moments of MasterChef in history. If you know of any such moments, then do share them with us in the comments section below. And while you're at it, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell icon to catch up on more awesome content like this in the future. And with that, I'll catch you guys later in another video. Bye now.